gods. Old gods rendered all systems, including earthen, defenseless in order to facilitate assimilation. This matrix destabilization has been termed the curse of flesh. Effects of destabilization increased over time.
Hello guys, this is Donan's Movies, and today I got a new World of Warcraft lore video. Now this one is a bit different because it's something between like a lore lesson, a speculation video, and a discussion, and I plan to cover the almighty mysterious Curse of Flesh that not many people really know about, or at least they don't know about it fully. Now this is one of the moments that is really important in the birth of Azeroth, so keep in mind that there are a lot of speculations flying around, and honestly it just isn't known. Like, we have different sources giving different clues, but nothing is certain, and in my opinion this part of the lore is like super interesting. So let's not waste any more time and let's begin. So understanding the Curse of Flesh is not really where the problem is, but it's more around the time, like when it was created and what is that period of time and what happened with the Titans. So if you're not familiar with the term, pretty much the Curse of Flesh is the thing. You have the gnomes, dwarves, trogs, Rykel, Mogu, and all of the other races. They were affected by the Curse of Flesh, and it was caused by the old gods. What it did pretty much is it made them weaker, and it turned their stone skin or iron skin into weak flesh. Now all of this is related to the arrival of the Titans to the small planet of Azeroth, and there are two theories going around, although I honestly think the second one is a lot more viable and it really makes sense. Now the first one, and that is pretty much the understanding of the world that most people have, and it is the Titans found the world of Azeroth. It was in complete chaos and was ruled by the old gods, and then they pretty much came, they imprisoned them, they banished the elementals and created the protectors known as the Earthen, and they went their own way pretty much, and we have the world today as it is now. But as I said, the second theory honestly makes a bit more sense when you really get into the lore and think about it. Now pretty much the second theory is that the Titans found the world of Azeroth long ago, and they shaped it and created the Earthen who are going to protect it. Now the Earthen actually exist on many worlds, they're not only on Azeroth, and a lot of people say they're pretty much like the cookie cutter or the prototype of a protector that the Titans employ on a world they create to defend it. So it's not something super unique to Azeroth. But it wasn't as easy for them as you might think. Like, the old gods roam the universe. We have proved that they're not only on Azeroth, so they're definitely on other worlds as well. And they found the world of Azeroth, and they saw a perfect opportunity. Now what they did is they came to the world, they created chaos out of their order that the Titans made, and found a way to weaken the stone-skinned protectors. And pretty much the main reason for that is because it's not really that easy to corrupt someone that is made out of like stone, but if you actually weaken him first, it is much more easier to manipulate him. Now the Titans actually sensed this, and they returned, and they were pretty pissed off. They were furious to what has been done to their world. Now they battled the old gods, and it is said that that war was the biggest war Azeroth has ever seen, and we actually saw the Burning Legion and everything like that, so it was quite a big war. And they imprisoned the old gods, while they banished their elemental lords into an elemental plane that I explained earlier. Now of course, as you know from Mists of Pandaria if you played it, they killed an old god called Yasharaj, but soon they realized that their connection to the earth was so significant, pretty much they were completely rooted into the world of Azeroth, and if you kill an old god, it could possibly destroy the entire world, as it affected the entire continent of Pandaria. So what they did was they imprisoned the old gods deep into the world of Azeroth. Now the initial Earthen that were affected by the Curse of Flesh were what we know today as the Trogs, and they were completely damaged, their mind was completely lost, they're completely like useless right now. So they were sealed into the ancient city of Uldaman, which is actually a giant Titan library, which I will mention in a future video. Now, before the Titans actually decided to just go all out and create an entire new version of the Earthen, what they did is they created a different version of the previous Earthen, so it was like the prototype version too, and these were affected but not as badly, and they still kept their mind. However, when the Sundering happened 10,000 years ago, when the world pretty much broke like all out, they fled into their ancient cities only to wake up about 2,000 or 3,000 years ago, it's not fully certain, and become what we know today as the dwarves and the gnomes. The Titans created a new form of Earthen who were resistant to their magic, and they also added the Titanic Watchers who were responsible for the entire world, and you actually see them in Ulduar. They're the bosses in Ulduar, and Loken is the main guy, he's like the leader of them. Pretty much he's the Supreme Watcher and he's the one who is responsible for guarding Yogg-Saron, as they thought he was the strongest out of all of them and he wouldn't succumb to the corruption of the old gods. But they were completely wrong, as he fell to the whispers of the old gods and he actually started working for them, so he abandoned the Titans and he started working for the old gods. He soon corrupted all of the other Watchers that you fight in Ulduar, and his plan almost worked until we actually stopped him. So if we never got to Northrend, we would never have stopped him and it would be really bad. But of course that wasn't the end of it, and it wasn't really that easy. Algalon the Observer shows up, which I'm guessing most of you guys know as that like blue guy that he has a lot of dialogue from Ulduar, but he's actually a pretty big deal and he's really important, and I believe at that point we were really the biggest threat to get destroyed than we ever were in the entire history. Now Algalon works for the Titans as the Observer, and there is an entire system built by the Titans when they came the second time, which is also a theory, and when the lead Watcher is killed that they had assigned, aka when we killed Lokian, it sends a signal to the Titans to inspect the world and to check if it was the work of the old gods and if the world was corrupted. And the Observer then arrives, he conducts an analysis to realize how badly the world corrupted is, and if it is, it sends the signal to the Titans and they pretty much return to the world and they bring order to it again, which pretty much means that they come back to the world, they completely obliterate the entire world and they bring into the original rock formation or whatever it was before, pretty much killing all of the life along with the old gods.
Translocation complete. Commencing planetary analysis of Azeroth. Stand back, mortals. I'm not here to fight you. It is in the universe's best interest to re-originate this planet should my analysis find systemic corruption. Do not interfere. I have seen worlds bathed in the Maker's flames, their denizens fading without so much as a whimper. Entire planetary systems born and raised in the time that it takes your mortal hearts to beat once. Yet all throughout, my own heart devoid of emotion, of empathy, I have felt nothing. A million lives wasted. Had they all held within them your tenacity? Had they all loved life as you do? Perhaps it is your imperfection, that which grants you free will, that allows you to persevere against all cosmically calculated odds. You prevail where the Titan's own perfect creations have failed. I've rearranged the reply code. Your planet will be spared. I cannot be certain of my own calculations anymore.
So in a sense, if you couldn't understand that, it's a defense mechanism so that the old gods don't get really too powerful, and if they start corrupting the world, they have a way to completely destroy them, and we were really lucky to not get that signal sent because the corruption wasn't bad. Now of course this thing is a bit out of topic when it's related to the Curse of Flesh, but it is a really interesting thing and it explains Ulduar quite a bit, which I will actually make a video on in the future. Now before I end the video, I just want to sum up a theory that I've seen by WoW Insider, or I guess Blizzard Watch now, although it's an old theory so I guess it's still WoW Insider, and that is the Titans are evil. And it's honestly really just stretching it, but seriously it makes sense, and when you think about it, it is actually super interesting. So what the theory says is that the old gods were there originally on the world of Azeroth and were kind of a big part of it. They were pretty much the part of the entire world. They were the world, and the world was in chaos, which is the natural state of the world. And then the Titans came and they brought order, which isn't always a good thing because maybe this world just didn't want order, but the Titans didn't really care. It was their agenda, so they brought order whether you like it or not. So they pretty much forced upon the world these stone and iron creations, and since the old gods were a part of Azeroth, they kind of worked quite a bit as the entire world. So it is suggested that the Curse of Flesh is actually an antibody and that the Titan creations were the virus. So the curse isn't really a curse, but it is actually a defense mechanism by the world Another small clue that can actually add to this theory is in a questline in Borean Tundra, where it is proposed that the current gnomes, which were mecha gnomes, as they said they were the version 2, and they said they could actually be sliced up and turned into robots and thus brought back into the glorious state of the Titans, which wasn't really something they were really looking forward to, almost as if it was the dark time when they had to be the robots. Now when you look at the Titans, you can see they're extremely organized, like insanely organized, pretty much too organized. In a sense, Azeroth is one giant computer that works from these titanic cities, especially you can see that from Oldham, and their constructions are quite robotic and perfect, almost too perfect, and that isn't always a good thing. Now of course this is a wild speculations, but when you think about it, it actually kinda makes some sense, and there's also all these clues around, and maybe we might even see something coming from that, as we're getting just more and more clues of the Titans and the works all over the universe. Pretty much in every expansion we had clues in Path of the Lich King, we had clues in Cataclysm, in the Midst of Pandaria, now even on Warlords of Draenor, also in the Classic, and I'm guessing the Burning Crusade as well, so it is a really growing thing that's happening right now. But still, as I said at the beginning, the point when the world was created is not really fully certain and no one really knows. Blizzard always teases us with this stuff. They just give us clues and then that leads to something, but then they contradict that in a way. So there is really no way knowing something for a fact. It's not like you can know, like the Titans came to the world for a fact. It's really all about the speculations and the little clues that we have all around the world. Alright, it is all here for this lore lesson. Now if you want to learn more, I will actually make a video on Ulduar, pretty much covering what I covered here, but in more detail. Also I might make a video on the Titans and the Pantheon and the different types of Titans, and maybe even cover the Storm Peak questline as well, as some of the things happen there. So if you like the video, don't forget to like and also subscribe if you're not subscribed already, as it really helps out the channel and keeps all these videos going. And thanks a lot for taking the time out of your day to watch this video, and see you next time.